increased usage with a comparison from the other year. So, with this increased usage comes increasing threats of cyber attacks and jeopardizing the sector's stability. Instances of individuals being defrauded has become increasingly prevalent. And in the context of growing innovations in the digital financial service, what measures are we effectively mitigating on the risks and safeguarding consumers, especially in the realm of financial services?
Thank you. Unfortunately, there's no one answer for cybercrime. We get these questions constantly. How do we combat cybercrime? As complex a phenomenon cybercrime is, its solution is in very basic things. It is what I like to call PPT. Process, people, technology. And in combating cybercrime, obviously we all have to be vigilant about these matters. From a process perspective, very critical that, first of all, at a national level, that we put in place evolving policies around cybercrime and work collaboratively. There are parties involved in cybercrime, the FIC, the Central Bank, ZICTAZ, and all of us as supporting associations. The unfortunate part is that we are not working sufficiently in collaboration where cybercrime is concerned. And there is an onus amongst ourselves. The challenge is there is no single point of ownership. And we need to get to a point of centralized ownership and driving a unit specifically around cybercrime. I believe that ZICTAZ has taken a bit of a center and forward approach where it's concerned. There is need for us to support them. But the practical matters that we face, Honorable Minister, is when there's a cybercrime, for example, it is the same police unit that supports traffic offenses that you will take these type of conversations to. And they are limited from a training perspective. So imagine you've been hit by a fraud that has got to do with duplicates, for example, and you spend weeks on end explaining to this policeman what a financial duplicate is before he can go against that perpetrator that has been involved in this, and you're losing time. Then you don't have a fast-track court that will deal with this matter, and for you to circle back, you would have been hit by multiple cyber crimes. How do we support a special fraud investigations unit that has already been set up at the Central Police and give them the adequate tools and training and allow them to form part of this kind of discussions? Because if we don't look them in these discussions, we'll be left behind. Tomorrow there is a specific cybercrime symposium that is being held, and one of the first suggestions I said was allow for the police to be center and forward in part of these discussions. You cannot engage them at the end. From a technology perspective, I think the minister pondered upon it, and the moderator as well as ZRA, but AI is not exception. In the countries that are really hard and fast on cybersecurity, it is AI bots and tools that are supporting picking up on these cyber crimes at a very fast pace. Unfortunately, organizations are at different stages, and you find that others are mature than others, and as a result, we're not fully leveraging AI. So similar to the way ZRA have gone ahead to form a unit that is specifically driving AI, to even many members of this symposium, Honorable Minister, you find that AI is a very distant phenomenon. If I go around this room and ask, what is AI? The answer is vile. And therefore there needs to be a centralized unit that is driving AI and seeing how we can leverage it in many areas, including cybercrime. And the last one being, obviously, our people being ambassadors of cybercrime, making sure that they are advocates, that they are given sufficient training, that in the various clauses that we're dealing with internally in internal organizations, as well as external organizations, that now cybercrime is becoming part of the training part of the discussions that we're having. So very critical to keep people, processes, as well as technology at the core of what we're driving where cybercrime is concerned, because this matter is constantly evolving, and it's the same perpetrators that are moving from one environment. They will be in Zanako today, next it is MTN, it's the same, they will be ZICB, they'll move to Zamtel, and we're steps behind them, unfortunately, because we don't have a centralized way of reporting and capturing cybercrimes. So, not very glorious news, Madam Moderator. I think this is one area where we are lagging behind. Lots of efforts going in there to try and secure our environments, but they are all siloed and individualized efforts. This story comes together very nicely when we put all of our efforts together. So tomorrow's symposium is dedicated to that. We'll be at the Radisson Blu with various industry players, trying to organize ourselves around a centralized approach around cybercrime.
I think Komba's articulated the issues very well, and I tend to agree with you with the approach that we need to take in terms of people, processes, and technology. I totally agree, and also that I think we do not seem to have a centralized sort of approach to addressing cybercrime. I think cybersecurity is an issue that is a problem across I think all sectors of the economy, and the landscape maturity is basically different. But I think there are tactical things that we can also do as businesses who are affected by cybercrime. I think the minister did speak about the know your customer. I think we need to strengthen those processes in terms of getting the proper biometrics so that we know our customers well. So insistence in biometrics is one tactical measure that we can take, and also just sensitizing our customers. I think most of the frauds that are happening, especially on mobile money, it's where customers compromise on their personal identification numbers and PINs, especially for those people in rural areas where they share their personal identification numbers with their grandchildren and the like. So we see that most of them are being defrauded in that manner. Obviously, like I said, the cybersecurity landscape maturity is different. In our case, we have partnered with ZICTAZ because there we have seen that there is a high level of skills in terms of addressing cybercrime. And I think going forward, we need to invest quite a lot in terms of cybersecurity program, where we have to also incorporate training of the various stakeholders involved in fighting this crime. I think the minister also did speak about the digital ID. I see that to be a game changer in terms of addressing this matter as well. And it will also help us to come up with a centralized reference bureau, so to say, where we would know the people to blacklist. I think is something that we can consider in addressing this issue of cybercrime. I think that's my addition. Thank you.
As the panel discussion continues, just a reminder that we'll have a Q&A. We've got about 10 to 15 minutes left of this panel discussion, but we'd also like to mention that the Honorable Minister will now be taking his leave. So we'd like to thank you so much, Honorable Minister, for making time to join us this morning and for being a part of this panel discussion. I just request that we please be outstanding as the Minister takes his leave.